worked on anything in my life that I'm more excited about, and there's no place I'd rather be. And part of the reason is because whenever I get stressed out, this is what happens. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, most of you have probably seen the tool before. It's pretty simple. It's discussion on the left-hand side. Then once you're discussing a problem, and once you decide that it's time to maybe make a decision, anyone can create a proposal that appears on the right-hand side. Anyone in the discussion can vote on it. So this was a discussion that happened in Enspiral, and most people liked it. Some people didn't. This is where we are right now. For those of you who are familiar with the, I think this was something from the startup genome, they basically talk about how there's several phases that startups go through. We are in what's called the efficiency phase, which means we've built our product. We realize that yes, there is a very large market for it. It's valuable. Now we just need to basically make the app and the business as efficient as possible before we hit that scale phase of really trying to actively drive growth. So we've had our heads down, been focusing a lot. So if any of us, we're sitting at work and you're like, "Hey, John, I need to ask you a question." I'm like, "Leave me alone! I'm trying to solve my puzzle thing." That's why. So sorry about that. It's really focused. But it's been fun. And even though we've had our heads down and been really focused and haven't really opened the doors at the moment, we've been we've introduced all these barriers to actually get on the app. You have to go through this laborious application process, and then about 3 emails go back and forth, and eventually you're in the app. But in spite of that, some really exciting things have been happening regardless. So at the beginning of the year, we got some group requests from Hungary, and we approved a couple of them. And then all of a sudden, yeah, that happened. What's going on there? And when we looked into it, what had happened was there was there's some anti-democratic stuff that the government was doing in Hungary, and a group of students that had been protesting what the government was doing got together, and they applied for a group on Loomio, and then started to use Loomio to make all of their decisions for their collective action. And then from that, they instantly had hundreds of members in the group, and then we started getting, like 5 more group requests from Hungary, and we just kind of started approving all of them just to see what happened. And it was really, that's what happened. And it was really interesting to see just how, oh wow, there's really this viral potential once a group starts using it, and what can happen there. So that was awesome. And so also, in spite of all the barriers that we've kind of put to entry, people just keep on coming back, I guess, and using it more, which has been pretty cool to watch. That's happened without really any effort on our part in terms of marketing or anything like that. Some other exciting news. We just recently became an official cooperative. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And the awesome thing about a cooperative is it means that it's owned by the workers. So for us, it's a really good way of baking in our core values of democratic participation into the legal structure of the company. So I, at first, was slightly, hesitant about the concept of the cooperative as a legal structure. Thought it might be, introducing a few too many barriers, things like that. But now I'm just all for it, and I have chats with my dad, who's a banker who works for Bank of America, talking about company legal structures and how cooperatives are the way of the future. And I think I was maybe able to convince him, which was pretty cool. One of the downsides, or potential downsides, from being collaborative, as you may know, is you can begin to feel like you're being micromanaged by the group. That says there's no hyphen in micromanager. So we've had to really figure out how to strike a balance between having wide amounts of participation and group input, and at the same time having the autonomy or the delegation as an individual to go off and do your work that you kind of specialize in, and really not be just bothered by someone saying, hey, you need to put that little dash in between those two letters or whatever. And so now I think we've really struck a good balance to where now we get proposals like this one. Oh, you can't really see it. It says, I have read the WFA guidelines and agree that Alana and Viv have done an excellent job. And yeah, I think it was really great to see this happening and to watch us figure out how to basically stop micromanaging each other. And right now we're in the middle of a sort of transition phase in terms of our strategic focus as a business. So up until now, we're kind of splitting our focus between these people and these people. And it turns out that these people have a bit more money than these people. I don't know why. I think it's because they wear suits. Yeah. Yeah, so our sort of idea was that basically formal organizations, they can pay for a subscription, and they would give us the sort of short-term revenue that we needed to fund our long-term vision of providing a service for democratic participation and collaborative decision-making to anyone in the world, regardless of whether they have money. So we were just like, we'll get some money from these people and we'll try and build it for everyone. But we've sort of since realized that splitting our focus is not really the best way to create a startup, actually. We had a lot of feedback from kind of external advisors who were just like, you really need to focus in. So that's what we've been doing. We've been really focusing in, and basically what we've decided is that this is kind of what we're going to be focusing on, which is really exciting. We were talking today in our meeting, and all right. We truly believe that online decision making has the potential to be as ubiquitous as social networking and social media, that in 5 years from now you could imagine that participating in all types of decisions that are affecting you would just really become a part of everyday life, just like checking your email. So we think that this market that we're in is just could affect everyone who's on the internet, and our goal now is to just try and get to the market as quick as possible and provide the best place for any group of people that are in need to make decisions together. And so to end that, I'm not sure how many of you know about what's happening in Brazil at the moment, but there's a lot of a mass mobilization that's happened. Basically, in a period of just a couple days, hundreds of thousands of people went on the streets from something that started out as a small sort of protest about bus fares. There was a little bit of police brutality, and the result is that all of a sudden all these people flooded the streets kind of protesting what they see as kind of the inequality and just the various social problems that Brazil is facing. And I think social media is, everyone's saying that social media is what allows this to happen. People post some stuff on Twitter and Facebook, and before you know it, everyone's on the streets. Stuff that would normally have taken weeks or months to coordinate now can happen in just a couple of days. But the thing is, and the big question is, okay, what now? What do you do once you got 100,000 people in the street? You know that there's a problem there, but how do you channel that energy into a solution and into sustainable, positive social change? And we think that online decision making is actually could be a really big piece to that puzzle. So as we've been thinking about all this, watching all the footage from the protests in Brazil and Turkey and all these different places, and thinking about how can what we're doing benefit movements like this, we got someone contacted us